I'm backing up my truck, I'm gonna hook it up, loading up my boat with all my gear. I've been working hard all week, trying to make ends meet, spending time wishing I was fishing. Well, Terry Wickstrom wants to take you fishing. Gather up your gear and come along. Well, Terry Wickstrom wants to take you fishing.
This is Terry Wickstrom. Join Karen Kullhem, Greg Plaggio, and me as we take you to some of our favorite fishing spots from Colorado to Minnesota, the Arctic Circle to Central America and beyond. As we revisit episodes of Mountain States Fishing and Angling Adventures Television on the best of fishing with Terry Wickstrom. Hey, we're at the banks of the Arkansas River in southwestern Colorado, or south central Colorado, I guess it would be. South central. I'm with Mike Willis. Mike, it's a pleasure to work with you today.
Thank you.
And this lady you probably recognize from years of watching our television show, my producer, Karen Kullhem. Karen, it's great to get you to fish with us instead of just being behind the camera all the time. Although you do get in some fishing in quite a few of the shows. Karen's quite an accomplished angler, and you've seen her catching pike in Canada and things like that, but you want to get more into fly fishing.
You bet. I never get much opportunities to.
And she always wants to do more fly fishing. And Mike, in addition to being a guide service, he runs fly fishing schools.
Yes.
And you guide both on the Arkansas River. We'll get into more where you guide a little bit later in the show. But the schools are really based out of Colorado Springs, Colorado.
That's right.
And they involve a classroom situation, and they involve coming on the water and teaching. Well, last night Karen went through the classroom situation. It's Mother's Day weekend, by the way. We're here, and it's going to be a beautiful day. I think it's going to warm up and be great. She took the classroom situation last night, and now she's out here to have the on-the-water part of the school. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hang around off on the sides and fish a little bit. You're out here with the students from the class today. You're going to go through. First, we're going to take you back to the classroom. Then we're going to come back here, show you a little bit what they teach on the water, hopefully catch a few fish, and show you a little bit about the Arkansas River and Columbine fly fishers. So we get at it?
Let's go.
I'm glad you guys came. You know, this is the first time we've done this here, but we've done a lot of classes and educated a lot of people in the art of fly fishing. Now, what caused you to start wanting to fly fish? Get all sorts of reasons why people want to fly fish. I think the best reason is because it's the best way to catch fish. If you like to fish and catch fish, this is the best way to do it.
Yeah, those are little caddis that are starting to build a case. That's the next generation. See if I can find one with a... Here's a Canis Fly Larva. See him there?
Oh, he's moving.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Remember that picture in the book?
Yeah.
That's what they look like.
Yeah.
See how the tail is starting to form on that?
Yeah.
He's getting ready to pupae. I'm trying to find a good stonefly. The water's really stiff, so got to get out. There he is, right there. See him?
Oh, he's bigger.
Yeah.
Wow, he's bigger than I thought he would be.
Here's another one.
Oh my gosh.
Here's another one. See, that one's a little smaller. Now, fold it over so you have a loop. Then poke it through the guides. As you run it through the guides, you notice that if you drop it, let it slip out of your hand, watch what happens. It stays in place. If you did it the other way around and just took the tip of the leader, all this heavy line would pull it all right straight back out. So that's an advantage. Now, you all are old enough to have done the twist. You remember Chubby Checker? What I want you to do is turn your torso and watch the line like this. And you can see when it's about to straighten out. Go ahead, pick up and lay down. I knew you'd pick the best spot here.
You told me to go over here.
Okay, yeah, put that in your left hand. Don't strip out anymore. That's good to work with. Just hold it, and then flip it up. There you go. Now, put it under your finger. Now, strip from behind your hand. Now bring your rod tip down, pick it up and roll it over. There you go, now point. Now that's all there is to it. The reason you point and always keep your rod at it is so that everything's free. If your rod is stationary, then it's like having the rope tied to a tree. Now point your rod downstream with it, gives you more power to pull through. Start pulling slowly, don't jerk it, and then just power through it. Good. Feel the rod bend? Mm-hmm. Perfect. Follow the ball, bring it downstream, pick it up. You just pulled it, pick it up, and roll it over. And your finger. Okay, now bring your rod down, tip down, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. No, pick up your rod. Yeah, pick it up and roll it over. Next time.
And the point is to keep the...
You see, up here it's floating okay. It's not dragging until it gets to about where you're at. Then it's going to start dragging. Okay, on your finger, pick it up, bring it downstream. No, you just slid. You got to pick it straight up. Pick up as much line as you can and then flip it.
Right up.
You're doing okay. Good. Okay, now pick it up high, roll it. Good, point. Good, exactly.
Okay.
Work on that. Just keep your line tied. Okay. When we get on the downstream side, just hold him right there. That's a monster. We're gonna have to get the gaff. They can lift his head. Okay, we gotta let him in. Let him in. There we go. Got him. It's a big bruiser. That's enough. Don't pull any more line in. Yeah, nice little rainbow. There you go. I'll let you hand him in there. It may be hard to get that hook. Maybe not. Yeah, there. Yeah, that mandible is hard when it gets in there. There you go. Well, we're not going to hold that one. Yeah, he was right in that little hole,
Yep,
huh?
back on the back.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, you can slide down a little bit too.
Yeah. Every time I kept going down further, I kept getting hooked up.
What
in,
I'd do
in
is just turn around and start working that bank.
That backside.
Yeah, you're casting beautifully. And had good action there.
Got it going.
Strip it up tight. He's swimming. Strip it up tight. Fish on.
No, I think I'm stuck.
Keep your rod up. He's on there. He's swimming upstream. Pick it up tight all the way to the hook. You got 8 feet there. Okay, that's good. Now lift your rod. Okay, let it slide. Let it slide. Keep it. Let him run. Just work it this way. Work him over this way. Keep your rod tip up. Let it slide to get your rod tip up. There you go. Now pick him up, bring him over. I'm going to go downstream. That's it. Come on, buddy. Get his head up. Get his head up. Bring it up. Keep it up. You've got him. He's ready. Walk back that way or pull it in a little more. Go ahead and strip in a little line. Nice fish. Nice little brownie.
Yeah, it is. I was going to say that. It's got to be brown, right?
Yep.
Speckles?
Yep, that's a brown trout. You can tell by the yellow on the belly. Put him in the water, hit him upstream, he's gone.
I got one hooked up. Looks like a decent brown. Oh yeah. Yeah, nice fish. Nice fish. Not big, just a nice fish. Try to keep him out of that current. Get him landed and get him going. There we go. Nice Arkansas River brown trout. Get up by the bank here so I can set my rod down Get him on hook before I try to take him out of the net. There we go. That wasn't bad. He's got the line wrapped on him. I think he's gonna... Oh, I don't want to lose him. There we go. Pretty Arkansas River brown trout. Just a beautiful, beautiful fish. Get him going in there. And away he goes already. Arkansas River, Mother's Day. The caddis hatch, only we're fishing nymphs right now. We're not fishing the hatch. And caught it on a pretty good size pupa type fly, but it was about a size 12 nymph, so it's a pretty good size nymph. We'll get back and get a couple more. I got one right in that seam over there. I've been drifting this rapids, finally got my drift right out in that, where the seam hit up against that shore, and he took it. He's in the current. I can't tell how big he is yet. Don't think he's real big, just another nice brown. But I'm going to try to back out of this current a little bit so that I can get him out of that fast water. Pulling pretty good though. Oh, nice fish. Nice fish.
Hold on, Terry, I'll help you land it.
Don't know which fly I've got him on. Fairly small tippet on my second fly, so I can't put too much pressure. Oh!
Did he get off?
I broke him off, I think. Put too much pressure on him, I think.
Yeah, well, that was my fault. I told you to hold on.
Isn't it beautiful being out here? And with the snow caps up here. We're here on Mother's Day, believe it or not. But, or the weekend of Mother's Day. It's, in fact, one of your students, she gave herself the Class A, was a gift to herself for Mother's Day.
Right. Talking about the beauty, the peaks right over here are the twin sisters. And I just kind of like the setting. Everybody that comes here always exclaims how pretty it is.
Oh, well, there's a lot of beautiful places in Colorado, that's for sure.
There's a fish.
Fish on?
Yep, fish on.
You know, I came over here to talk to you about your guide service and the school, and while I'm doing it, you catch a fish.
Yeah, fish off.
Fish off. All
That's
right.
the way it works.
I lost a couple myself today. But now typically when you do the school, we see the students, they come in and do a classroom. Describe a typical class, you know, what's involved, what can they expect?
Well, when you come to class, you know, there's usually 4 to 6 students, which gives a good teacher to student ratio. And if we need more if we have more students, then we use more guides to help with each student.
But it starts out as a classroom session.
But it starts out with a classroom setting, and we have a manual that we follow. We use it as an outline. I don't read the manual to them, but I explain everything that's in it, and hopefully by the end of the evening they'll understand 50% of it. It's kind of like brain overload. In 4 hours you cannot put a full lifetime of fly fishing into that time period. So you do get a lot of information. And we talk about your equipment, we talk about entomology, we talk about the techniques for fishing, nymphing, dry fly fishing, streamer fishing, and so on. And then we have knot tying. Everybody gets to learn to tie the knots, basically the 3 knots, which is the nail knot, the surgeon's knot, and the improved clinch knot.
And those are the 3. With those 3, at least they can get out and fish.
Yes, you can do everything you need to with that. And then as you become more experienced over time, you can pick up different knots and different techniques.
Okay. And then after they do the classroom, it's 4 hours of classroom, or 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah, 3 to 4 hours.
Evening before.
Right.
And then after the classroom, then it's an on-the-water session.
Correct.
And that's what you did with them this morning. You're out here today. We're on the Arkansas River. Now, do you do a lot of it right here in the Arkansas?
Yes, I do everything here on the Arkansas.
So you guide several places, including the Arkansas, but your
Correct.
classes are usually, the on-the-water parts are on the Arkansas River.
Right.
Which is a good fishery year-round.
Yeah, it's a great fishery all year round.
Provides you some diversity. You know, one of the nice things about the Arkansas is the amount of public water that it has, public access.
Yes, they tell me that there's 100 miles of public water. There is private water in there, but it only accounts for about 10% of the river.
Yeah, so there's a lot of public access. So it's a water that, you know, if people who live in Colorado aren't fishing it, they should be fishing the Arkansas. It's just a great river. There's a lot of, you know, I hear that all the time. I had no place to get on the river, and there's a few rivers that are difficult to get on. You know, the Pooter is another one up north, depending on where you live, that has a lot of public access. But there are a lot of public access rivers. But the Arkansas is a famous fishery. I mean, it's renowned for its brown trout, and people come from all over the world really to fish it.
And the brown trout have gotten bigger over the years with the drought. It kept the water low, the insect life increased, and the fish were thus fattened from it.
Now, after you do the classroom, you come out in the water. What's the on-the-water session like in the class?
Well, we typically start out with everybody stringing up their own rods, doing everything that we learned in class. Most people need a little refresher, and that's why we make them do it at the stream, so that we can help them actually tie their flies on, string up the rod, and so on, and tie all the knots. And then once we get that done, we walk down to the water. We have a little entomology lesson. We turn over some rocks and look at the insects on the bottoms of the rocks and identify them, and try to get as many insects as we can to visually look at.
Now, the class, is it designed for beginners, intermediate, what level, or all different classes?
Well, the class we had today was the beginner class, those who don't know anything. Quite often, I get those that have had a little bit of experience. They went out and fished with Uncle Bob, but they're not quite satisfied with his educational program.
Right.
So they end up learning a lot and putting everything together. We do have some on-stream lessons for those that are novice or consider themselves better than novice. I often find that everyone can learn, no matter how expertise you think you are.
One of the things I find is I've been doing fishing of some aspect for all my life, and I learned to fish. I learned something from everybody I fish with, no matter what level they're at or what level I think I'm at.
Yeah, and that's why I take a lot of guided trips, sometimes just to find out new techniques, new little tricks to put onto the water.
Well, Mike, thanks for a great day out in the Arkansas River. You know, this is actually, living in Colorado and doing all the TV I've done, it's actually the first show we've dedicated to being on the Arkansas, and what a great fishery it is. Just a tremendous place.
Yeah, there's a lot of fish here.
Well, Karen, what did you think of the school? Did it improve? Have you moved another step in your fly fishing career?
Well, maybe I should ask my instructor.
Well, she's done great. She learned that cast. She can power up that rod. She can actually shoot it out there quite a ways now.
And she caught some fish.
Yeah, and she caught fish. She can control the line. That's the main thing. It doesn't matter how
pretty
far you shoot
awesome.
it.
So, you know, so now next year we'll let you fly fish again.
Oh, yay.
Get the fly fish.
Yeah. But seriously, Mike, you know, and folks out there, if you're interested, we'll put your information up here again. We'll have it at the end of the show. If people want to get a hold of you and do a guided trip or a classroom situation to learn fly fishing, how far ahead do they usually have to book?
They don't have to book a long time ahead, but we take people that call in the night before if we have the day open. If you want to assure yourself a date to go fishing, then you need to call in as early as possible. And we take bookings sometimes 6 months in advance.
Yeah, and remember, it's not just the school you saw today, but it's also float trips up in Wyoming and other rivers around the area here.
Right.
You know, if you're interested in fly fishing, I can't encourage you more than to go and get some instruction, or at least fish with a guide, because it'll accelerate your learning process so much and make it more enjoyable. And here's a great one to start with, Columbine Fly Fishers. You know, give them a call and join us next week on Mountain States Fishing.